Welcome to Beyond the Velvet Rope with Neal Oates Jr., the podcast that takes you on an extraordinary journey into the world of luxury service. Join us as we unlock the secrets, stories, and strategies behind exceptional experiences. From anticipating VIP needs to crafting unforgettable memories, we'll guide you on a path to service excellence in the realm of the affluent. Let's elevate your expertise and redefine the art of world-renowned service. Here's your host, Neal Oates Jr.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining me on this episode of Beyond the Velvet Rope. Today, we're focusing on an important aspect of professional relationships, the art of working with affluent individuals. It's a dynamic realm that requires finesse, understanding, and deep respect for your client's needs. So let's dive into our first tip. And that first tip is going to be all about building trust and establishing rapport. When working with affluent individuals, building trust and establishing rapport is paramount. There might not be anything more important. That's why this is our first tip. These clients often have unique concerns and expectations, and it's essential to create a foundation of trust from the very beginning. And we're going to look at here in a moment some few key strategies. But in the very beginning, can you lay that foundation of trust? That's a key question that I want you asking yourself. And if you're currently in this segment or this niche, I want to ask you, how are you, or what are you doing to lay and create this foundation of trust from the very beginning, that initial contact? So the first thing that we want to look at, and I think many experts agree, is all about research and prep, or research and preparation. Learn about your clients' backgrounds, their interests, and their values. We don't want to go into any relationship or any hopeful, anticipated relationship thinking that it's all about us, that it's about where we came from, what we're interested in, and what our values are. Conversely, we want to look at what are our clients or our prospects or customers' backgrounds, interests, and values. Secondly, we also want to make sure that we familiarize ourselves with their industries, their businesses, or their organizations. Right? We're living in a time now when so much information is available on those that we're looking to serve. Not target, because target has a negative connotation to it. But those that we're looking to serve, there's so much information. Have you done that research and prep work to know what's happening in their business, their industry, or the organizations that they run or that they're members of? And then we know that if we've done that homework, that this knowledge is going to help us connect with them on a deeper level. The reality is, whether you're affluent or not, you really seek connection. And if we can intentionally connect with those that we're looking to serve, those affluent and successful individuals, then we're going to be better off for it. And so are they. Now, in this whole idea of building trust and establishing rapport, the second sub point that we want to consider is this whole idea that we've heard, but maybe we didn't hear it, and that's active listening. Now, active listening is not listening just long enough for us to get our point across or for us waiting for our chance to speak. Here's what we want to do as practitioners serving the affluent niche. We want to pay attention to our clients' needs, their desires, and their concerns. You want to make sure that you're answering the questions that they're asking. Now, this causes me to ask you, do you even know the questions that your affluent clientele is asking? Do you know what keeps them up at night, or maybe the pangs that keep them uneasy in their stomach? We want to be sure that we're always showing empathy and understanding. We want to ask open-ended questions. Don't assume that we know what the answers are or what their positions are. You might even be surprised to find out that many people that are in your current circle have different opinions than you do, even if you've been a lifelong friend, especially and even more so when we start dealing in these ultra high net worth circles. So we want to make sure that as we ask these open-ended questions, that we're aware of what this is doing in the mind of our prospect, customer, or client. So when we're actively listening, it's demonstrating our commitment to providing personalized solutions, right? It's not a one-size-fits-all type of product or service that we deliver. We're telling them, hey, I hear you, I see you, I understand. Now, I know I might offer this service, but here's how we're going to tailor that to your needs, to your desires, to your financial situation, or to maybe even some of the concerns that you might have. And then the last piece, in building trust and establishing rapport, we want to make sure that we're focusing on professionalism and confidentiality. I love the saying, when you go to the movies, that silence is golden. Well, that's the exact same thing when working in these affluent ranks, in this luxury realm. We want to make sure that we keep our mouths shut. We want to maintain the utmost professionalism and discretion. So for many years in my real estate business, I would always use the tagline, discretion is our calling card, which means that you'll never hear of me or who I work with out of my mouth. If you have to ask the clientele that I'm working with, you have no business knowing who I'm working with. So we always want to maintain that utmost professionalism and discretion when working with not only high net worth or affluent clientele, but really anyone. Let them brag on you. We don't want to be those that are in the general population or general industry segment where we're name dropping. Respect the privacy and confidentiality of your clients. When was the last time that you said, would they really want this shared? Now, I know in the day and age of reality TV and Instagram and social media and TikTok, it's so easy for us to believe that everything and everyone are fair game. Well, that's not reality. That's not real life. That might be a segment of the glittering rich, but what my colleagues, my coaches, and my mentors have shared with me on this journey for almost 2 decades is that the reality is that most of the successful, most of those who have made it to higher financial ranks than the rest of us, what they're saying is, I don't want to make a big deal about it. It's not about being showy or flashy. I want to be your neighbor, your friend, your colleague next door. And then these qualities are highly valued in the affluent community. So we have to ask ourselves as practitioners and providers of luxury services to affluent communities, do we want the show on IG or social, or do we want to be talked about by our peers, or do we want the respect of those that we serve? Do we want those referral and repeat customers that come to us because they know that we have nicknames like the Vault or Lockdown? Or you could be forgetful, meaning that you forget everything your clientele tells you in terms of discretion, not in terms of ability to serve. Now, the second thing that we want to talk about, the second tip, we really want to look at understanding the unique needs of the affluent. And here's where I want to just share with you some of the thoughts, the processes, and even some ideologies when it comes to the affluent and their needs. Affluent individuals often have specific needs and expectations when it comes to their professional relationships. Now, if you are uncomfortable with that, maybe in your previous life, you would say they're picky, they're hard to please, they're demanding. No, they have specific needs and expectations. And what I've found in my years doing this is that we all really, if we're being honest with ourselves, we want the best. Now, what we can afford in terms of the best might vary. But you, in your life, you want the best house that you can afford. Now, there are levels, as Meek Mill will say. But affluent individuals often have specific needs and expectations when it comes to their professional relationships. Here's what I'm going to ask you. Are you qualified to be one of those exceptional few? Right? Understanding the requirements is crucial for delivering exceptional service. Right, so let's look at some of these requirements. The first one, we touched on it just a little bit when we were talking about understanding and research. But the first one is a tailored approach. Have you customized your services to meet each client's unique goals? Now, for some of us, regardless of the industry that we're in or the service that we provide, the answer is no. Like, they're not special. Well, I know that your mom would disagree because she would say that you're special. But here's what we also have to look at. In this day and age, people want unique. They want personalized. They want a tailored approach, especially those who are what we're going to call successful. So have you, or would you consider customizing your services to meet each client's unique goals? Now, this requires heavy lifting on our parts. It does mean that we must do the work to find out what each client's unique goals, dreams, and aspirations are. Can you recognize that what works for one client might not work for another? So there is no cookie cutter approach. There really is no one size fits all. And then we, as practitioners, as the elite few, as the creme de la creme, we want to strive to provide personalized attention and solutions. Now, this forces us to do more work, but this is also why we get paid in a different stratosphere than those around us. Now, I've heard the saying that we have three types of clients, right? Or three types of customers. One is we have unsatisfied, satisfied, and then we have fans. So you can have a satisfied customer, an unsatisfied customer, or a fan. And so this is where point number 2 under understanding their unique needs comes, and that's exceeding expectations. We never really meet someone's needs. The reality is we either fail to meet or we exceed their expectations. So we want to be sure that we're always striving to exceed expectations, going above and beyond to deliver exceptional service. When was the last time you looked at a service provider and said, that's exceptional service? Can you say that about the service that you provide? Can you look in the mirror and say, you know what? The service that I provided to my customer at the hair salon or in the real estate transaction, or if I was cleaning their office, it was exceptional service. Now, that's just the first level in exceeding expectations. The second one talks about this whole idea of life, and we know that life has these things called problems, or as I say, realities. But can you anticipate the needs of the affluent and proactively address their concerns? So I was told many years ago from my father that if you want to be successful, if you want to carve your niche out in this world, you need to be a PPS, and that is a professional problem solver, something that I've mentioned numerous times here on this Beyond the Velvet Rope podcast. So can you not only identify or spot problems, can you proactively address concerns for your affluent clientele before they even mention them to you? Have you, as we mentioned at the onset of this episode, have you anticipated the questions that they might ask? Have you looked at what other customers or clients have encountered and said, all right, here's what I believe they're going to need based on this consultation that we've had, based on my research and my study of. And then we want to surprise our clients with unexpected touches that demonstrate your commitment to them. Not to the transaction, not to the business, maybe to them. Maybe it's going to be a family member or friend's birthday or something special. Maybe you remember something small and you bring that up, or you have some item to commemorate something that you have no business really caring about professionally. But can you surprise them with those unexpected extras? And then here's where it's going to be the great equalizer for all of us who are listening to the podcast today, and that's going to be knowledge of the affluent market. Study to show thyself approved. I'm going to encourage you now. This is what has changed my entire business and my life, and it's staying informed about trends, investment strategies, and industry news. So do you know enough to be an expert in your field? Do you know the things? We go back to what your client, customer, what they know. Do you know what they should know, but maybe they aren't aware of yet? We want to be well versed in the concerns and challenges that affluent individuals face. right? Do we have a team around us that are going to shore up our weaknesses or maybe what we are incompetent of? Do we have a team around us going to say, hey, Neal, maybe you should think about this. I have clients, customers, prospects. I have other colleagues who are seeing that this is on the horizon. And then once again, this is how we become a trusted advisor to the successful, to those Uber producers who are saying, I've separated myself, but it's not because I know everything. I have trusted advisors and valuable resources like Neal or Marcus or Joanna, right? And we want to be intentional about increasing our knowledge of the affluent market. And then finally, we know that the affluent, that those successful individuals, that they are not looking for flash in the pan interactions. They're looking for long-term relationships, as hopefully you are, and that's why you're here listening to this episode of the Beyond the Velvet Rope podcast. But we want to be sure that one of our focuses is on maintaining long-term relationships. Cultivating long-term relationships with affluent clients is crucial in your professional growth and their satisfaction. Right? So we're going to look at some effective strategies for maintaining valuable connections. When was the last time you thought, I want to meet this person? And maybe you met that person, but you failed to maintain. Right now, for my fellas in here, we know that we've wanted to meet that girl, and we saw that girl, and we had the conversation, but then we failed to maintain. So we want to not only create, but we want to maintain these long-term relationships. And in business with the general public, affluent clientele, or in relationships, the number one trait is consistent communication. Are you and your business poised and positioned to regularly update your clients on relevant industry news and opportunities? Right, so we talked about this whole thing of us knowing the market and understanding, but how frequent is your communication? Not with stuff, not with crap or fluff, but how frequent and consistent is your communication to your clients, customers, or prospects with relevant, accurate, timely information? Things that they need. It might not be sexy, but it's probably going to make a big difference in their life or their business or how they move day to day. What about opportunities? Are you consistently presenting opportunities to help those in your sphere? Or are you saying, give me, give me, give me? Right? So one of the ways that we want to regularly update clients is we want to schedule periodic check-ins, and we want to ensure, not guess, hope, or pray, but we want to ensure that their needs are being met. And how do we do that? We ask, how can I serve you today? What can I do to help your week, month, or year be better? What have I failed at? And we have to ask those tough questions. And when we ask those questions, we want to show genuine interest and provide timely responses to their inquiries. When someone says, well, Neal, actually, I need this. Let's respond quickly, even if the answer is, I don't know, but I'm working on it, or I'll get that to you in 2 days. I'm actually having that experience right now with a friend of mine who is looking for an agent over in Santiago, Dominican Republic, and we found someone tonight. So kudos to me with showing genuine interest and providing timely responses to everyone involved. I mentioned tonight, and this is by no accident, but I found my connection for my friend in DomRep through networking and referrals. And this is that final piece of maintaining, the second piece, I apologize, in that maintaining long-term relationships. You want to be intentional about leveraging your network to provide additional value to your clientele. Right? So the reason why we build networks is not for us. It's for those that we're going to meet so that we can bring value into those relationships. We want to, every chance we get, introduce our sphere of influence to other professionals who might be able to assist them that have no benefit to us. Maybe if you are in real estate, you're introducing someone to a legal attorney. Maybe it's going to be to a babysitter or to someone who handles finance, and you're not going to get a referral or immediate return on it. And then one of the keys in my life, my business, something that I hope you hear, but it permeates everything that I do, is to facilitate connections and referrals that enhance their personal and professional lives. Can you be their Google? Can you be their Bing? Can you be the go-to person when someone has questions? They think of you. And because you are a professional problem solver. Now, does that require more of you? Yes, it does. But to make more money, to be more successful, we need you to solve more problems for more affluent individuals. Solve bigger problems for bigger people. If you do that, you're going to see yourself growing. And then the final piece of maintaining long-term relationships is continual learning and growth. We talked about knowing market or industry information, but you want to stay current with industry trends and developments. We just came through this whole pandemic, or maybe we're still in it. We don't know. But did you learn? Did you get better? And are you anticipating industry trends and developments, let's say, over the next 8 to 12 months? Maybe what's going to be coming down the pike in 18 months. You want to attend conferences, seminars, workshops, expand your knowledge. Never stop growing, because if you're not growing, it is a proven scientific fact that you are dying. And then we want to demonstrate a commitment to personal growth, which will inspire confidence in your clients. If they see you growing, doing, becoming better, they're going to say, I think she's someone that I'm going to continue to keep in my circle. Every time I speak to him, he's going to a conference or coming back or sharing information. She's always giving me valuable, relevant, timely information, and that's made me better as a professional in my personal life, maybe as a significant other or a parent. So there you have it. Those are our top tips for working with affluent individuals by building trust, understanding their unique needs, and maintaining long-term relationships. You will position yourself as a trusted advisor and a valuable resource. And we hopefully will agree there are not enough trusted advisors and valuable resource makers. Remember, it's about going beyond the velvet rope and providing exceptional service every step of the way. It is not a one-time, one-day deal. Before we wrap up, I want to remind you to subscribe to our podcast and share it with your colleagues and friends. We appreciate your support. Thank you for joining me today on Beyond the Velvet Rope. I'm Neal Oates Jr., and until the next time I see you or you see me, remember that I love you, God loves you, and there's nothing you can do about it. And don't be average. Be world renowned. Peace.